How's it going, guys? It's Zimzilla99. We have survived the attack of a rabid squirrel and are coming back with essentially almost back-to-back streams. Of course, we all can't forget about the giant monster in the room, Godzilla Minus One, taking home the Oscar for visual effects. It's awesome that was able to happen. I honestly was super I was on the side that maybe they're not gonna get it, although probably Yamazaki would give like an interview or something in regards to Minus One and like the fact that he even got nominated, but it really says something that you got to have Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator himself, announce Godzilla winning an Oscar. And of course, the fact that Yamazaki chose to do his best in English to give a speech, and they didn't try to push him off the stage really, and just the fact that like you got some guy who's bringing around a Godzilla figure gets onto the Oscars stage and is just able to receive that award. It's historic. Minus One enters the field with like other famous movies in terms of getting an award for VFX, Jurassic Park, Lord of the Rings, etc., being examples outside of the Godzilla itself getting an award. And of course, Minus One swept the Japanese awards as well. I think it got I think it was 8. Yeah, they got 8. They cut him off with the music though. They kind of cut him off, but like overall, it wasn't super bad. But like, despite I think they cut out the music and then kind of let him finish. But again, it's still awesome that they were able to do that. I think honestly, while we wait for our guests to come in, I think it would be at least appropriate if we're able to watch that again. If you were not able to have seen it like when it actually happened. Godzilla Minus One Oscar. So share screen. But outside of the fact that that happened, how are y'all doing? All right. Yeah, might as well just do it for the Oscars one. All the way to the beginning. Yeah, let's make sure I'm not on like 2 times speed or anything crazy like that.
Please welcome Arnold Schwarzenegger and Oscar nominee Danny DeVito.
And they also got the Penguin too, which they'll talk about that in a moment as well, which is super funny. I really hope and pray that me showing this off does not get the stream taken down, because that'd be so annoying if that's the case. I also want to say that it sounds like that sounded like a Family Guy tune.
Yeah, look at that. It's so beautiful. Look at everybody. Look at that. Yeah, very nice. Well, Arnold and I are presenting tonight together for a very obvious reason.
We both tried to kill Batman.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're both trying. I died as the Penguin in Batman Returns.
That was Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin.
A legendary portrayal right there. I do not care what anyone says.
Oh, he used my one weakness against me.
Heat.
Love.
Oh. He threw me out a window.
He threw me out a window.
Yeah, he's really
Batman, that son of a bitch.
Where is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely concerned about the copyright getting me.
He's here.
I hate him.
There he is. He's right here. He's right here.
I think I love the fact too that technically Schwarzenegger never fought Keaton Batman. It was Clooney, but It's still, I like the fact that they did this bit
You have a
nonetheless.
lot of nerve to show your face
Oh, yeah,
around
you
here.
got, you know.
Son of a bitch.
I wish
are a
Clooney was like in the
real
background for that, but
beak
I love Keaton. Keaton's awesome.
God,
It's a
I'm gonna
shame for
see
what
you
they did to
after
him
the
in like
governor's
Flash.
ball,
What's up, Doomzilla?
pal.
Pow.
All right, and here are the nominees for
The good
achievement
old
in visual
nominees.
effects. The artists who take us beyond the real world, beyond the limitations of a movie set.
Kind of sounds like something Rick said.
Jay Cooper, Ian Cumley, Andrew Roberts, and Neil Corbo.
I never saw the creator, honestly.
Godzilla -1, Takashi Yamazaki,
Mizaki.
Kyoko Shibuya, Masaki Takahashi, and Katsuji Nojima. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Never saw Guardians
Stefan
either.
Sarati, Alexei Weisbrot, Guy Williams,
It's Cal
and Theo
Kestis
Bialy.
from Star Wars Fallen
Mission
Order.
Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1. Alex Woodka, Simone Coco, Jeff Sutherland, and Neil Corbo.
Never saw it either, honestly.
Napoleon, Charlie Henley.
I made sure not to see this one.
Simone
Napoleon.
Coco, and Neil Corbo. That's it. Eddie, you're up.
And the Oscar goes to
Here you go. This is
It's all crazy. Oh.
Godzilla.
Honestly, like, I held my breath when they waited for a second. I was so confused. I was like, oh, wait, is it not Godzilla? Oh, no.
This is the first Oscar win and nomination for the visual effects team from Godzilla -1.
That's, and the fact that they all had, like, little Godzilla figures there, and the golden one with the little tie on. Not the tie, the bow tie on. Wait, I want to see if I can hear it here, too. Yeah, right there. Oh, I love that. That was awesome. I cheered when the Terminator announced Godzilla's name. Yeah, no, absolutely crazy. Napoleon. No one cares. No one cares about Napoleon. But at least it still looks like our guest has not arrived yet. So at least that gives me the opportunity to keep watching this, though. So we will go back. I'm just doing it periodically so that I do not miss him if he's in the back. But if anyone wondering who we are going to be interviewing tonight is RICSAN Toys, RICSAN Custom Toys. So does a lot of 3D modeling, and of course has been doing a lot of custom figures for people. Specifically, the one I remember getting brought to my attention was the Stan Winston Godzilla due to Crispy Vic, and then he also did a Beast from 20,000 Fathom one, and he's been recently doing other stuff such as Gorosaurus, Gabara, and more recently the Odo Island Godzilla, plus something else there for another movie. And of course he had his own little thing for the Oscars, so that was nice. Chadzilla himself got an Oscar. Oop, wrong one. Left Napoleon one. I would have been so upset about that. That would have been so annoying if Napoleon had one. Like honestly, if it had been, if it was anyone else besides -1, I probably would have said creator, and then after that probably Mission Impossible, with Guardians following it up and Napoleon in last place. It just didn't deserve it. Seeing Godzilla giving Disney a slap in the face with a smile on my face, it does kind of say something, at least, that it wasn't even like it was like one of the more maligned Godzilla movies. Not Godzilla movies, Disney movies. Like, it wasn't like it was going up against the Marvels or like Black Widow, for example. Of course, didn't come out this year, but I mean, Guardians 3 wasn't overly maligned, so it does at least say something that the Academy chose -1. But while we wait for Rick to still come in, we can at least watch Yamazaki's speech in the meantime.
Uh, my career began 40 years ago after the shock of seeing Star Wars and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. To someone so far from Hollywood, even the
I think it's also awesome too that he mentions Star Wars and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and then obviously you got to see Spielberg and the like. So it really does come full circle. He got to give him a Godzilla figure, and Spielberg really liked the film. So
possibility of standing on this stage seemed out of reach. The moment we are nominated, we felt like Rocky Balboa. Welcomed into the ring as equals by because by our biggest rivals, which was already Miyako. But shall we stand? to all the black artists outside Hollywood was listening, and this award is proof that everyone has a chance. Finally, on behalf of the cast and crew of Godzilla Minus One, I want to tell our
I don't know if this is actually like a real figure you can get, but even though I'm not big on like statues and stuff, I was thinking about at least picking up this figure. But I do maybe want to pick up the gold one just because.
Producer Shuji Abe,
And of course, this was where they had started to
did it.
kind of get him off, like try to get him off stage, but like the moment he said that, they stopped the music appropriately. So I say that I know some people might think that's disrespectful. I think it's probably just because they have a certain time slot available for people. So it's not as bad as like people think. But yes, did contact Rick. Right now we are just waiting for him, so I'll answer a few things in the meantime. It is a bit of broken English, but saying the driving was like his son and the team behind him is very heartwarming. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Do you have a smile on your face? Of course I had a smile on my face, obviously. But my stalling has finally come to an end. The man of the hour is here. So let us introduce him, the one, the only, RICSAN CT. Welcome, sir. Your audio is not working, just to let you know. Edit mics, reduce background. Say something now. Let's see if we can hear you. Anything? I know if anything, with the audio, at least make sure that the mic.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Perfect. Awesome.
Let's go. My dude, I am so sorry. I have been running all day, and here in Mexico it's 7 p.m. So I was like, I want to chat a little bit before we enter to the interview. I'm
that's sorry. No problem. I completely forgot to let you know.
No, you told
like
me.
what
You
the difference
told me.
was Easter. Okay.
Yes, my complete bad. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, don't worry. At least like I got to do the part with the Oscars for Godzilla, so at least I got to show that on the channel. And
awesome.
At least I stalled long enough for you. But thank you for coming on. We can start the interview with full haste then, essentially. Question one would essentially be, how did you get into Godzilla and Kaiju?
Let me breathe a little bit. It's so hot in here.
Oh,
and
no
I,
problem.
And I have
no
been
problem.
like running all over the place. Okay, I'm here. Let's go. How did I get? Actually, I remember a lot. Since I was a kid, since I was a little boy, I remember a lot that I loved the dinosaurs, and my father gifted me like a lot of dinosaurs. So you can see in here that I have a lot of Jurassic Park stuff. And actually, I don't remember which movie we went to see to the
Mhm.
cinema, but it was in the 2000s, and I remember like to going out of the cinema and watching in his full glory the Godzilla 2000
Oh,
poster.
nice.
Yeah, and it was like a love at first sight, you know. So it was like,
Mhm.
Father, what is that? And my father, oh, that's Godzilla. Yeah, I have seen a lot of movies, Godzilla movies, and he's like a big like a goofy guy in a suit. And I was like, that looks so good because I remember that it was like a drawing, the one when he's like throwing, no, he's roaring, I guess. And I
Oh, for the
remember to
Godzilla
see that.
2000 poster? Yeah, I think it's like
Yeah,
him with the atomic breath off to the side. Yeah.
yeah. So I remember watching that, and I was like, I need to see that. So my father took me to the cinemas and watched that movie, and that was like, I was completely in love with Godzilla. I was so little, I guess. I don't remember. It's like 93. I was around 10 years or so.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
I know
maybe
that
even
definitely
more.
makes you even older than me. And I feel
Yeah.
like an old man sometimes.
uh, Please do not say that.
But since you did mention that, like, you obviously are in Mexico,
Yeah.
does that, like, obviously mean how although this wasn't a question I had at least, a banner for, but
Mhm.
was it easier or harder to get a hold of, like, Godzilla and kaiju content being the fact that you're in Mexico? Or, like, was it, like, kind of there, but just not, like, something you really were able to find until you got into it?
Actually, it's pretty hard and a little bit expensive to get Godzilla stuff in here in Mexico because of the shipping prices and everything.
Mhm.
So I remember that I used to have just a few Godzilla figures when I was young. I remember to have like a burning Godzilla toy like this big,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I remember the exact same moment when I just thought that it was a good idea to grab my Godzilla and get into the. I had like a tiny tub, so I jump into the bed and bathe with him, and he stopped like lightning. uh, I had
Oh, no,
that.
I feel it was the same way too with my toys. I'd be like, I'm playing with Godzilla in the water. It's like with ships and
Yeah.
everything." And then the toys always end up getting filled with water.
Yeah, why doesn't turn up anymore, no?
Mhm.
Yeah, and I had a King Ghidorah, but I don't remember what happened with that. But actually, since like a few years ago, I didn't have too much Godzilla toys because they were so expensive, and
Mhm.
the pictures. Well, here in Mexico, we have a lot of piracy, so it was a little bit easier to get the movies. You know, we went
Mhm.
to the flea market, and you find like some people that has like Godzilla movies and monster movies like selling there. So
Mhm.
I think that that's the way I got to see that kind of, well,
Mhm.
like kaiju movies and everything.
I mean, you can't knock it. I mean, when, like, you don't really have the opportunity to be like, "I just wanna go to the, store and pick up a movie," it's, like, understandable given the
Yeah,
circumstances. I can
yeah,
never
yeah,
really
yeah,
judge that. But obviously now, there's, like, probably a lot more access to, like, dinosaur and Godzilla stuff with movies coming out and with Jurassic World
yeah.
being as big as it
It's
is.
amazing.
Yeah. No, it's, like, it's definitely a good thing opportunity-wise for people, whereas
Mhm.
back in the day when the internet was just starting up, it's like, someone told me you may be able to get them here or there," and then you go somewhere and it's like, "Nope, they do not have anything." It's like, I was
Yeah.
lied to.
Yeah, and actually, I am pretty excited. Well, I am being able to go to the United States a little bit often,
Mhm.
so it's like it's amazing when I go to the Book a Million or to the even to the Walmart or the Target, and you can see like
Mhm.
the Godzilla stuff in there. Here in Mexico, we don't have like, well, in the Walmart we don't have any Godzilla stuff. Uh, Maybe in another place like a little bit more Premium, we have the movie Monsters,
Oh yeah, the
but
Six Monsters. Yeah.
yeah, but it's kind of hard. But well, since Amazon and all the other web pages offer that kind of toys, it's kind of reachable, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. But obviously now you're doing
Yeah.
3D modeling and the like, which brings me to my next question. Did you specifically like did you go to college or did you study 3D modeling or are you like completely self-taught with how you got into these programs to make not only your figures but also the models?
Mhm. That's actually a cool question. I studied computer science, so
Mm.
um, I used to use 3D Max, but for like it was just like a random. Uh, how do you say class? Yeah, random class.
Yeah, like
But
a elective essentially.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I learned a little bit of 3D Max, but my father used to be an architect. So
Oh.
when I got into the 3D, he was like, we can make renders for the architectural rendering and that kind of stuff. And he was like, you don't want to try to learn this stuff a little bit more? And I was like, yeah, why not? No. So I started to learn a little bit more with tutorials. I took another assignment in the university to have a little bit better knowledge of that.
Mhm.
So those were my first 3D modeling approaches. But since I was a little, I loved like to draw dinosaurs and that kind of stuff. So I tried eventually to make a Godzilla in 3D, which was a complete failure. And I said like, I don't think this is my jam. So I left it like a couple years, and another time I was like, I want to try again. Try it again, and actually kind of made it. So, well, long story short, self-taught. Yeah,
Mhm.
on the kind of 3D modeling, sculpting, on that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Gotcha. Um, kind of a tangent onto that question, and probably not as interesting for the people who are the kaiju fans, but since you obviously said you were studying computer science, what programming languages did you learn in college or like in general?
That's another funny point of the story, because I just studied 2 years of computer science, and I said like, this is not for me. So I changed my well, I changed from the university, and I studied. Uh, it's like engineering design.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
mhm. So I got a little bit more into the 3D, but for mechanical pieces and that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But I didn't like it either. But I have to finish it because my father went so mad when I left computer science. So I decided to to
Yeah.
finish this other career for the sake of my father and my mental health. So
Hmm.
I finished that, but I went to like, how do you say that? I'm so sorry, because I usually get a little bit that I don't know how to say some words in
Oh
how to
no, no
translate
problem.
from
If you can
Spanish to English.
probably if you can describe it, I'll probably be able to think of what it is you're referring to.
I actually know. Yeah, yeah, I remember. I went to an animation masterclass from a Mexican animation studio,
Oh, okay.
and I used to make like a little robots and stuff that walks and everything. So I went with the art director and told him like, I want to learn a little bit more of 3D, and he was like, I am assembling a team. Do you want to join? And I was like, hell yeah.
It's like the
So
Avengers. It's like, I wanna talk to
yeah.
you about the Avengers Initiative.
Yeah. So in that place, I usually got like more practice on designing like more 3D models and sculpting. So
Mhm,
I think that was a place where I like grow into making more sculptures, I guess.
mhm. Um, because that actually also translates perfectly into my third question. So what got you into making specifically custom toys? Because obviously 3D
Yeah.
models like usually work for animation studios and the like, or make an
Mhm.
animated series. But obviously you've transitioned into taking these models, printing them out, and then specifically making like obviously figures and stuff for people.
Mhm. That's a really cool question. I'm saying that for every question. They are cool questions. Okay. When I used to work at that studio, they were like trying to get a short movie financed.
Hmm.
So the producer to asked me the one of the characters she wanted to give that character as a gift to the people who gives the money, no?
Oh yeah, so
So
like to the backers, yeah.
yeah. So I grabbed the 3D model and they bought a Dremel 3D printer, like a
Hmm.
filament 3D printer, and I 3D printed the character, and I was like, that's so cool.
Hmm.
uh, but the time passed. I made that, and like 2 years after that, I left the studio, but they lent me the 3D printer. So I was unemployed and I needed money, and I wanted so hard to buy Godzilla figures. And I loved the Godzilla 2014 movie, and I am so in love with the Mutos. So I was like, I don't have money to buy toys, so I will try to make my own toy. So the first design that I made, it was actually this beautiful girl.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this was the first 3D model that I made, like that I was able to say, like, this might work. So I share it into a Godzilla specific no web page, group on Facebook. It's called Godzilla Coleccionistas de Mexico. And I
Mhm.
said, like, I made this. Oh yeah, that was another of my first attempts to articulate, but it's kind of rough.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I mean, like, it's still like obviously, I'm not super familiar with the whole process of making these, but even though like articulation wise, you kind of sacrifice the mold to make it articulated, it's still impressive. Not
Yeah.
everyone could say that.
This looks a little bit better because she doesn't look with that all balls in
Mhm.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I uploaded to the group and I was like, look, I made this stuff. And the people were like, what the fuck? That looks amazing. And I'm like, do you sell it? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Do you think that I will be able to sell it? And a lot of people were like, yeah, I will buy it. So I'll start to make this, and it was actually a good run. I think that I sold these kind of toys, like just the statues, for around 5 months.
Mhm.
But uh I don't know what happened, that my mental toll was so high. So I got
Mhm.
so tired. And I was like, I am going to stop, because if I don't stop, I will hate this. So I took like 3 years of, I lived making toys like for 3 years. No, 2 years. It was 20. I don't remember. Let me check in my in my Instagram. I think that it was like around 2 years. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. So I stopped making toys, but you know, this year, no, well, last year, I had like a mental breakdown at my work, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I will try to make toys again. So I resigned. Yeah, I
Mhm.
resigned, and I was like, I'm going to try it. I don't care what happens. And I don't know what happened, that it started to work so good, and I am so grateful, like, with all of you guys, because you guys are supporting me so hard, and I am in an eternal debt. My heart
Yeah.
is free because of you.
No,
Yeah, I am
that's
so
wonderful.
happy.
like that speed, like obviously it seems that it's been able to help support you in a pretty at least decent way. I'm curious for anyone,
Mm,
for obviously for the people who are wondering, so obviously since you're living in Mexico,
mhm.
you're obviously being paid in dollars, but the conversion rate is going to be different. So what essentially, for example, because someone did ask, for example, how much is the pre-mutated Godzilla figure? So how much is it that you are then charging, and then how much is like the conversion for that?
This
Yeah, that
guy
one right there. Him.
with his Oscar.
Mhm.
um, how much is it? It's $80, I guess. Yeah, it's $80.
Mhm.
Yeah, $80 plus shipping.
So that's $80 plus shipping, and then I forget
Mhm.
what the Mexico currency is. So how much, like, is that in, Mexican
Uh,
currency?
I don't know. Right now, the dollar is it's pretty low, so it's 80. It's 1,343 pesos.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I
it's
wish I
$1. No, one
um,
dollar is no, but it's not like with 1,000 pesos, it's equivalent to $1,000. No, it's like actually, since I has been traveling like the past 2 3 years a lot to the United States because my mother lives there.
mhm.
Uh, Actually, almost everything is kind of the same price. Actually, buy the resin, the boxes, and all the materials. It's cheaper on the US than here in Mexico.
Oh,
It's
okay.
kind of yeah, it's kind of weird because if I buy resin in the United States, it costs almost the half that it costs here in Mexico.
I guess it's
So
because of all the
it's
shipping.
yeah, so it's really weird. The translation it's not like one by one. It's so weird.
Mhm.
Some things are cheaper there, some things are cheaper here. It's it's half and half. It's weird.
So I assume obviously you're probably driving up through the border, like through Texas or something, probably for or are you taking like plane trips to wherever it is that you're traveling in the US?
Well, I live in Puebla, that it's exactly on the half of Mexico.
Oh,
uh,
okay.
and mhm, just in the half of Mexico. And I am traveling to Jackson, Mississippi, that where my mother lives.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Got you. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
it's not where I'm thinking of it is, because obviously for a lot of people in the US, when they think of where Mexico is in relation to the US, it's usually that border between Texas, New Mexico, Arizona-ish kind of
yeah,
area.
totally. Mhm.
Okay.
No, but I'm in the middle.
No, okay, that's interesting.
Mhm.
So, like, I assume probably in that case then, you're sort of moving from, anytime you move up to the US to see your family, that you'll probably
Mhm.
get a lot of your like, your resident stuff and materials that cost cheaper, and then bring that back into, Mexico. Again, not a question I had here, but I like how this is kinda snowballing into other questions. How is that process anyway? Like, is it kinda difficult because they're kinda, like, wondering what you're bringing across, like, the country or back into Mexico, or is it sort of like a pretty easy transition with stuff you buy in the US?
Uh, well, the toys I usually put, well, whatever I bought, I put it into my uh, suitcase, into my
Mhm,
suitcase.
suitcase, yeah.
And well, I am not able to travel with more than 20 kilos.
Mhm. Okay.
So whatever it fits there, it's the thing that I get here.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, and well, you have to go through like the customs and everything, but they just
Yeah,
scan you and they are like, "Why are you taking this?" And I'm like, "It's resin or it's toys. It's for me." And they're like, "Go away."
gotcha. Because they're probably wondering, like, "Why does he got all this resin? What's he gonna make with it? Any reason why you got this resin here?"
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. They're actually super chill. Yeah,
Okay, that's
they're like,
good.
it's okay. I think that the only time that they super asked me something was one time that I got like overly obsessed with the New Orleans coffee, like the how is it called? Hey, I don't
Um,
remember.
I'm from the
The
North, so I'm not super familiar with any of the local brands down south in the US.
I got like really, really, really the Café du Monde. the Café del Monde coffee,
Okay, yeah.
and with one kind of whiskey, the Fireball. I got
Oh,
overly
okay, yeah.
obsessed with that, so I bought a lot of coffee and a lot of whiskey, and I put it into my into my suitcase. And in customs, were like, "Why are you taking coffee? In Mexico, they say that they make good coffee." And I was like, "Yeah, but I am set with this right now. So,
I
am
like
I
that.
able to take this?"
It's like, "Can I bring it with me?" Like, "But you're in
Yeah,
Mexico. They have Mexican coffee, but I like this."
yeah. I need this, and it was so good. Everyone at my studio loved it, and they were like, "When are you going to go there so we can have good coffee?" Yeah, it was so good. I highly recommend it.
I'll definitely have to try it then because I could probably do an order for Amazon. But
Yeah,
speaking of
yeah, and it's
obviously
really good.
resin,
Mm.
what equipment do you use to make your figures? Like what type of resin are you using? The 3D printer that you use, things like that.
I use an cubic resin,
Mm-hmm.
and I have two 3D printers right now. They are the Creality Halot Light,
Mm-hmm.
4K. Yeah, and I have the washing and curing machine,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the the whole factory. I want to buy a little bit more of equipment to get like a little bit faster, but actually with these two, they are printing like 24/7, and I can barely assembly and paint and everything. So if I buy another one, that will be overkill for me. So right now I am trying to first fix the production, well, the assembly and the painting
Yeah.
stuff.
These ones right
uh,
here, right?
no, 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 it's a Creality Halot Light.
How light. Oh, as
Creality
and
Halot, HALT, light. That one. Oh,
okay, this one.
that's my sweet baby. I love her so much. At the
Did
United
you
States, I bought. Sorry.
I was gonna
Mhm.
ask, did you buy your 3D printer in Mexico or did you buy it in the US?
No, I bought them in Mexico. Yeah,
How much was it? I'm curious.
it was around 7,000 or 8,000. I don't actually remember. So it
Yeah,
was
because I know in
around.
terms of prices, I've seen. I know. I
Yeah,
remember I went to a micro center and it had like it was a pretty. It was a sale they had where it wasn't like super expensive.
yeah. But they were so expensive, like in a year or two time, and they
Mhm,
went like so low these last months. But I remember that when I bought the first one, it was around $400.
mm.
Yeah, four
Yeah,
hundred or
and
so
it
dollars.
definitely seems that, like, as people have been, like, taking advantage of 3D printing and making figures and models and stuff and using them essentially as, like, a supplement to things like D&D, Warhammer, and the like, that
Yeah,
they've just become more more, a demand has been there, and therefore they're pumping more out, which has allowed the price to kinda drop a little bit for people, which
yeah, yeah.
obviously, is good for creators, but then it's like for the people who had it for a while, it's like, "I coulda waited and spent less on a printer."
Y- Yeah, yeah. It happened the same. That was exactly what happened to me. I was like, finally, I having my 3D printer, and after that, getting a lot of money. Well, actually, I made like I used my credit card, and I was like, whatever happens, happens. Uh,
Mhm.
After that, I saw that the prices dropped, and I was like, holy shit, I should have
Like,
waited a little bit more.
it's like with stocks, it's like you wait 5
Yeah,
seconds and then it gets appreciates in value, or like you
yeah,
sell it then, and then, like, you're like, "I should have waited. I should have
yeah.
waited."
Life is
Um,
life. Shit happens, so we have to go
yeah.
away with it.
No, but I mean, hey, at least it's giving you time to not only, like, understand the ins and outs of it, but also improve on your craft as well, so
Yeah.
and then, of course, obviously, -1 was the big movie, so that's why, you had decided on the pre-mutated Godzilla that everyone loves, but, how do you, like, go about picking the characters for your releases? Like, do you see certain monsters that don't have wide releases and you think that that'd be cool to have them? Or is it just sort of, "I'm feeling like I wanna have this monster, in my collection," or stuff like that.
That's it. The last one that you saw, that you told. It's actually, it's so hard. It's so hard because I don't actually know. That's a really good question that I have asked myself before. Uh, it's weird because I have some ideas of which monsters I want to make. But when I start 3D modeling them, sometimes I lose like the not the interest, but the issue is that sometimes it doesn't inspire me so hard, if that's a
Like
way to say
sometimes
it.
you just don't have like that drive to really complete it.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
it's so hard because sometimes I want to make a toy so hard, and I start to 3D modeling, and the time start to pass in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, and I cannot finish the 3D model. 2 months and I cannot finish the 3D model, and I'm like, okay, I am going to take a break with this 3D model, and I will try to make another one. And in 2 days, I have the full toy like prototyping in the 3D printer, and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with me? It's weird, because
Oh
that
yeah.
that's yeah, that's actually why I don't like to accept commissions, because it's not my hand what makes the stuff. It's uh, I don't know, the ideas or the my
It's
brain
that,
at
that
the
spark.
moment. Yeah. I need to be like in the song with that character in a specific.
Mhm.
It's hard,
Oh
but
yeah, like
yeah.
even when I'm drawing, sometimes I'll like there's like a specific idea. I'm like, I need to make this here. This needs to get out, and then like I'll be like, uh,
Yeah,
uh,
it happens.
like want to? And then like you'll go off and do something else, and you're like, how did I get that done in like 5 seconds? I've been at this for a year. I need to get this done.
Yeah,
Um,
that happens. I think that it's, I don't know. It's our good thing, and it's our good thing and our burden, of the artist. I guess
yeah, the curse of the
that's
artist.
yeah, that's the duality of men.
Yeah, the two of that
It's like
perfectly summarized.
yeah,
Oh,
it's weird. But I guess that's the way that I cannot pick it. It's like I try to make it, and sometimes I succeed, or sometimes I fail miserably. If you
mhm.
were able to see like I have like a kaiju folder, that's where I put all my 3D figures. I don't even know how many characters do I have, because they are like so much that some monsters are like, I just put the reference images, and other
Mhm.
monsters are like, I just need to grab a little vertice or a vertex or something, and I fail miserably, and they die in there. So it's weird.
No, yeah,
Let-
definitely.
that's something that I need to check right now. Give me 1 second. I have
Oh, yeah, no
I, I,
problem.
I just selected the folders that I have, and I have
Mhm.
81 items selected. So it's
Jeez.
it's ridiculous. And I have just 5 monsters right now in
Yeah.
production. So you can
No,
imagine all the, I want to
it's
do this.
it's crazy, but also, like, it's respectable too that you have that many files there. I mean,
That
like,
many
it also
attempts.
means you have a yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, now we're gonna get into, like, your babies and the banes of your existence. What has been your favorite character to make a figure of?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Okay. I don't know. Maybe, actually, I enjoyed a lot. I made like a little exercise that I think that's the one that I have enjoyed a little bit too much. That it was like converting Toho characters into Muto-like forms.
Oh yeah, the Muto Geigen. I think you had that
So
on your YouTube
uh,
channel as well. That it was the time lapse of you making it, I believe.
I think those are like the ones that I enjoyed the most because it had like a little bit more of imagination input to say
Hmm.
something. Because it's not that I don't like it, but I enjoy the most when I am doing my own designs.
Hmm.
So I guess that that guy is the one that I love the most. After that, I love the most, the Sanguinson, because since I saw the drawings and the sculptures of that guy, I was like, why don't we have that in real life? I
Hmm.
love that design. I fell in love so hard with that design. So I think that was another one that I enjoyed too much to make. um I enjoyed a lot to make the Godzillasaurus because I don't know why, but I enjoyed it a lot. When I was making it, I was like, this is so fun, and I finished so fast that guy. So
Hmm.
it was amazing.
Exactly. Although I also did not have it here as a question. Inversely, what was the most annoying thing that you had you designed that actually not something that wasn't finished, but something that actually made it to the end, and you're just like, finally, it's done.
Are you asking this because you know something of my past?
Oh
Yeah,
no, I'm about to
I
learn the
have.
deep lore today.
Yeah, we're going into the deep lore. Okay, the biggest mistake that I've made on my whole career, it was the Kamakuras.
Oh boy.
Um, yeah, uh, and actually it was it was so funny, weird. I am going to tell you a deep secret lore. Uh, I designed the Kamakuras in. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I designed the Kamakuras because I wanted something easy, deployed, exclusive.
Exclusive.
I designed the Kamakuras because I wanted like to make. This is so sad for me to say because I wanted to make something fast that will sell quickly because I had my mother visiting my home, and I was
Hmm.
like, I am so poor right now, so I need a little bit of money. So the idea of the Kamakura, it was like, I am going to sell two figures, but it will be the same, but I will just change the face and a little bit of stuff. So it was
Hmm.
like a good idea for me. I was like, this is so easy, and I am going to finish this so quick. And I actually made the 3D model in one day, and I was like, my Wacom was burning, and I made it so fast, but I fell in love with the 3D model so hard. I think that that 3D model is one of my favorites that I have already made. They are so detailed because I think it was my, yeah, I love them so much. I think that it was my desperation for getting into the software and making the best of me. I love the that 3D model, but the sales went so good, and the sales went like really good. I made the prototype and the sales went so good, but the issue is that uh the prototype worked well, but it had like the antennae,
Yeah, the antenna.
uh the antenna, they were so fragile. So I finished the batch before assembling them, and I was like, this is going to break when they arrive. I cannot send this. So I had to print another batch where the antennas were like detachable, so they
Hmm.
arrived well. But the assembly was so hard. Like it gave me nightmares because it was like a lot of stuff to assembly. The pieces were too small. Everything went so hard to make. And after that, I had all the package like already done, and I was like, I think that I was assembly one of the last ones, and I was like, well, the wings look
Mhm.
good painted in white, but they will look better if I print them in translucent material. So I unpacked all the kamakuras that I already sold. I unpacked them all. You can see there that they have like the gray material
Mhm.
wings. So I went to unpack them all and then to break them all the wings and 3D printed with the translucent material. So I had to redo the
Oh,
assembly
no.
of the of the wings. So it was a complete nightmare. Like I was like I made it to go out of a financial struggle, and it put me into another financial and time and mental struggle. So it was worse. So that's why I am not selling that guys anymore.
Mhm.
As much as I love them, I am not selling them anymore because it's so hard to assembly. So I want to make another models. Well, another type of uh, these guys, but with no too much articulations because they are a nightmare.
Mhm.
But I
I bet
love them so much.
after all of that, every time you watch Son of Godzilla and see these guys, you're like, Kamakurus, ¿por qué?
Exact, exactly with that exact Spanish accent. Yeah, for sure,
¿Por qué
exactly like that.
Kamakurus?
¿Por qué hice
No
esto?
más.
Exactly like that. So you have a really good Spanish, my friend. You
It's
portray
funny.
the desperation so good.
I know very little Spanish. Some of my family that I'm not directly related to, but like my cousins
Mhm.
and my aunt are Puerto Rican. Know
Oh,
very
that's
little
amazing.
Spanish, but
Uh-huh.
I remember when we were out one time in Puerto Rico, I remember someone had asked me something, and I understood some of it, and I was like, "¿Por qué no habla español?" Because he wanted to tell me something. I had no clue what he was saying, and
Uh-huh.
he's like, "Yeah, that wasn't that bad." And I'm like, "I don't know what else you're saying to me."
But you have the essential. You now if you know how to say no hablo español, you are on
No
the other
habla
side. It's
español.
perfect.
The things
Yeah.
I know, I will always remember. ¿Por qué no hablar español y puedo ir al baño?
Yeah, you have everything. You
There we
just
go.
have to you just have to learn how to say I need a beer. That it's quiero una
Yeah.
cerveza.
Oh, and
You
what's
are
it called?
ready, and quiero tacos.
When I go into a restaurant, just arroz con pollo.
That's
Comer
it.
arroz con
That's it.
pollo.
That's
Um,
it. You're ready to live here.
I'm gonna move down to Mexico, guys.
Let's
That
go.
that's the strategy now. But
That's the plan.
speaking of obviously the assembly being a nightmare for these guys, so outside of obviously the printing and the creation of the models themselves, what is the process for creating your figures in terms of getting everything to have all the articulation, and like how long does that tend to take outside of obviously the nightmare mantises, like how what goes into all of that?
I don't know. That's the issue that uh, I got like a mental blocking so hard. It's really hard for me to concentrate in one character, you know? So I usually trying to make it not as fast as I can, but as good as I can.
Mhm.
So maybe one day I put like 3 4 hours into 3D modeling, but another days I cannot get up of my bed because I feel so bad, or I am not able just to get my head together to sit into my computer and 3D model.
Mhm.
So it's not like a standard time that I can say. Uh, so I don't have like an idea of exactly how much time do I take to make one character. But when I take commissions, I usually say to my clients that it will take me around 7 days on the process to make the 3D model,
Hmm.
but the 3D model will be like a complete mesh, just like for animations, because that's the kind of commissions that I usually grab. Because
Hmm.
before I used to work on Fiverr, and they hire me a lot for animations and for game assets.
Oh, okay.
So usually that kind of 3D model takes me around 5 to 7 days
Give or
ish.
take. Yeah.
And yeah, the articulation and the Boolean operations to make like the cuts,
Hmm.
those are the things that punish my head uh, the most. Yeah, because well, it's hard for the computer to process that kind of polygon count,
Hmm.
and it takes a little bit more time that I am like used to do. So it takes me around another 8 days to articulate them. Then I make the prototype, but the prototypes I usually make around 2 or 3 maybe prototypes to see if everything is working fine. But the first prototype, it's like a complete mess. The walls are too thin, something breaks, or something is weird. So I have to
Yeah.
jump back and 3D model the piece or fix the piece again. But I guess that the time that I usually take to make like a full piece, it's around a month. So
Hmm.
that's why I am trying to make one character a month. But one month I'll fail, another month I make two. So it it's I cannot handle that. Like I don't I can't. It's depending of the inspiration and the mental state.
It's like the luck of the gods essentially. Some months
Yeah.
it's like the spark of creativity and like efficiency, and then other months it's like you're absolutely pressed with like bad luck.
Yeah, and actually, this month we are currently in the 11th, and this month I have been like assembling, packaging, going to the post office, running so hard. So I haven't had any time to make a 3D model. I have been like all day assembling this beautiful guy that you're watching right now.
The wonderful boy who brought like
The
the perfect like start to this movie.
Yeah,
That just
no,
won
it
an
was
Oscar.
it was an experience. It was an experience. Yeah, I
Like, I
love
even
him so much.
remember the first time like, when I saw that movie opening night, um,
Mhm.
it was in an AMC theater, and our seating was super close to one of the,
Oh.
like, audio sound woofers,
Mhm.
and the first moment he roared, it actually kinda hurt my ears because of
Uh-huh.
how loud it was, and I was like, "Okay, that's what this movie's gonna feel like."
Yeah, it was so beautiful. I didn't see it like in a huge theater, but I saw
Mm,
it like in a regular theater.
yeah.
But the experience was like so. I was watching the screen, and when he went out and he went like mad, I was grabbing my seat like, what the fuck is happening? This is so beautiful, because he looked like so fierce and so fast, and the the scenes that they made like so beautiful. Like it was like,
Mhm.
I don't know, it was beautiful.
Like, it has very Jurassic Park kind of vibe to it, and then with the
Yeah.
music where it's essentially, like, very few instruments with, like, a lot of horns and stuff,
Yeah.
and just the tension built. It's a beautiful scene and, like, an awesome rendition of, like, a pre-mutated Godzilla with this Godzillasaurus.
Yeah. Yeah, in the music it was like an experience too. It was so dangerous. You can feel the dangers, almost like an alarm
Mhm,
kind of
yeah, it is
vibe.
kinda
It
like
was like,
a siren. for like
Yeah, like
a war
that's it, the
siren.
siren. Yeah, it was so frightening. It was
Hmm.
so cool. Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy that a lot too.
I would also say my next question is obviously besides from like issues like motivation or mental health, what is like probably the hardest part of designing these figures from a technical standpoint in terms of working with the programs or the printing and the like.
Uh, I think that the hardest part it's the articulation. Well, to make the cuts, and try to make it the most seamable way that
Hmm.
it doesn't look like too much like holes or something like that.
Yeah.
Like to make it aesthetically. I think that's the hardest part because the 3D modeling I enjoy it a lot, but the cuts stress me a little bit more because
Hmm.
if you mess it up, it will be like completely observable.
Hmm.
So I think that's the hardest part for me to make.
Hmm.
And and
Um, Generally, like when you're designing these and you're having to do all these cuts, do you like make several like extra like backup copies of the same file so that if you do mess up, you can just go back? Because like obviously, if you're messing with the vertices and stuff and the polygons, and you're like, I can't undo this.
yeah, yeah, I usually make it's a complete mess. I make like around 4 to 5 files of
Hmm.
each character. In each file, I don't want to lie you, so I am Godzillasaurus. Where is it? Mm, where is it? Godzillasaurus -1. Here is it. I have one, two, three, four, 5 files
Oh,
of this
jeez.
guy. Yeah, because I made and each file has its own backup. So I cut one arm and I keep the arm cut like complete,
Hmm.
and then I am going to subdivide the next parts. And I save and I open a new file. In each file, it's the first one is 1.2 gigabytes, and the second one it's 2.15 gigabytes. So they are kind of heavy.
Hmm. Generally, I haven't even really gotten into 3D modeling myself yet. Outside of like these models which have all these cuts specifically to make them toys, how much larger are they in comparison to a model that doesn't have all these cuts in terms of their file size?
Oh, huge! It's huge. Also, I mean, the character for animation. I think that I uploaded a render of this guy before I made the cuts. That file it's 1.04 megabytes.
Mm.
No, 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 not that. No, 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 no. Up a little bit upper. There you go. The one with the moon.
Oh, the one with the
Uh,
moon. One
that
sec. This
one.
one right here.
Yeah, that 3D model, you can see like the whole detail and the wireframe because I usually make all my 3D models to be posable or animable. I don't know if I can say that. If that's the way. Well, I make all the figures first to make to be like uh, animation worthy or game
Hmm.
worthy. So that's why in the third picture you can see the polygons, and they are so low because I used to make them like super optimized for animation. And
Hmm.
after that, I apply it's a modifier called multi-resolution. So I applied that stuff and the polygons went like skyrocket. And that's the point where well, as I said, this 3D model that you're seeing, it has all the details and everything, the textures, the lighting and everything, and it only weighs 1 megabyte.
Oh wow.
So yeah, and the other file, the one that it's already cut and everything, it weighs 2.15 gigabytes. So it's a
Jeez.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
lot of it's a lot of information.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dang. How many polygons does this version of the file have in terms of all of it
I d-
together?
I don't
Oh,
have any
sorry.
idea. I am going to open the file with the fear that my PC will break. No, I don't think so. But let me check. 1 second.
Not a problem.
It's opening. Uh, but a lot. uh, okay, here you go. It says that for everything, it's triangles, cube vertices. It's 6,990,000 no 6,009,400 around 7 million.
Dios mío.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. But I mean, still, I obviously it's the work speaks for itself with how impressive that is. But actually, again, another question I had. Do you
Mm.
have you ever sold the like any of the models for animation? Like if someone wanted, for example, to put them in like a game as like a mod, would you sell like the files in that sense or no?
That's weird because I have some models that I don't usually sell them. If I don't even know how do I take that uh, decisions.
Hmm.
I guess that if they ask me in the right moment, I usually am like, yeah, take it. But usually when they ask me, I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I cannot share my 3D models.
Hmm.
Um, but
Company secrets and
you
all that.
sorry?
Company secrets and all that.
Yeah,
Gotta keep the
yeah,
secret formula.
yeah. But usually, well, when they hire me, they have like the whole access to everything. But
Oh, okay.
I am not like really fond of giving my 3D models just like that. You know,
Mhm.
it's because it has. I feel that all my 3D models or all my work have like a little piece of me in there, and if they I don't know. It's weird. I don't even know how to answer.
No, yeah, it makes sense, especially if you're,
Maybe,
like, giving it out to people, they can kinda do with it what they will, so it's like, obviously, you kinda wanna
yeah,
have that kinda control you have over, like, what it is you make.
yeah. But well, as I was saying, it's weird because I saw that someone was gifting one 3D model on Cults, and I were like, why not that? Why not? That's amazing. It's so cool that some people are gifting their 3D models. Why I am not doing that? So that's why the day past yesterday I put like my whole Cults store open so everyone
Mhm.
can download everything. So I don't know. I mean, that's the duality of men again.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, no, this is my files, and sometimes I am like, oh yeah, everyone can have it. So it's
Mhm.
weird.
No, yeah, that makes sense. And then obviously, you've got, Shimo model here that's been
Actually,
modeled on.
a, a guy asked me for the 3D model of Shimo because he told me that he was going to make a video and he was like, "My guy, I really wanted," but I don't know because when he wrote me, I felt like so cool. When he wrote me, he was like, I don't know, polite or cool or I don't know, but I felt him like he was a cool guy and a safe person to share my 3D model, and I was like, yeah, take it. But
Mhm.
sometimes I am guessing that it's maybe the way they approach me or the moment of the
Yeah, it's
day
like
or
intuition and all
how
that.
I'm yeah, how am I feeling about not even them, the moments I guess that
Mhm.
make me take that decision because some people have also asked me for the 3D models, but they don't grab it like in a good place. And I'm like, no, man, I'm so sorry, but I cannot share that. I don't know.
Mhm. And
I'm so
obviously, I
sorry
would say
because
oh, no, no, it's no, explain.
because no that I'm sorry because I am thinking I think that I am saying like not yes or no questions. I am
Oh no, you're
going to
good.
the
Don't
great
worry.
way.
No, that honestly, it makes it at least more honest. Plus, like it gives you more time to actually explain it in better detail. So of like, yeah, nah, stuff like that. But I know for myself, I found out about your stuff via the '94 Godzilla figure
Yeah,
that you had designed, and it's like an impressive piece. And
thank
honestly,
you
like
so
the
much.
quality is like on par with like the Monster Arts figures and surpassed,
Oh
I'd
no,
say, the
no, no,
NECA
no.
figures, in my
Thank you.
opinion, at least.
Oh, thank you.
And that does make me think, with how successful you have been, my next question is, do you think like 3D printing is like the future of like toys and stuff in terms of people being able to get certain toys and stuff that probably other companies can't do because of like one reason or another? Or do you think that like it's going to be still kind of pretty niche for the most part, where it can be like a small business for you but not like something that's going to blow up or like really
Mhm,
like change the dynamic of like the toy making business?
mhm. Well, first of all, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
of course.
the cool thing you just said. Uh, mm, I don't know. I think that 3D printing technology have had like a lot of steps and a lot of improvements, but I am thinking that 3D technologies are not as financially viable to make like a lot of batch. It's like a little bit more niche, like
Mhm.
to small creators because of the time and well, yeah, you cannot make like big ass batches, like the plastic factories or the sofubis or that kind of stuff. So because well, this is my point of view because I want to make a jump to the sofubi area. I
Mhm.
want to try to make like a little bit more detailed sofubis, and I actually trying to make molds to improve some parts of my figures. Maybe not the whole figure because everything is so expensive. All the machinery
Mhm.
and everything is so expensive. But I feel that eventually, if everything works out fine, I will use the 3D printing just to make the prototypes, and
Mhm.
hopefully I will be able to make like hard plastic toys eventually because I want to jump to the ball joint and all that kind of more commercial like stuff. So to I want to make my own figures, like my own intellectual property,
Mhm.
and one of my goals will be like to make uh my own, well, I have this brand, but my own brand of my own toys. So I don't see the 3D printing like so far away in the future with me.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, they will be the 3D printing technology will be always here and to prototype and to make like a small batches or that kind of stuff. But I will be more than happy to jump to the injection of plastic or another technologies. Maybe try them a little bit to see if they are like financially
Viable?
that's the word, viable.
Mhm.
So again, I think that I give just a gray answer because I am not really sure of I am not really sure of the future.
Mhm. No, exactly.
So mhm,
And then, at least the last question I had personally, we'll leave it over to the audience. So while he answers this last question, if you guys watching have a question for him, leave it in the comments, and I'll start to highlight them after this. But the last question, big one I had was, what advice can you give for people who may want to get into 3D modeling? Not necessarily creating toys like you, but sort
mhm,
of just designing models in like Blender or any other
mhm.
3D modeling software.
Well, I guess that the hardest part of this is like to follow your dreams. I know that it sounds cliche, but I think that my dreams have always dragged me to the future so hard, and I have been studying this kind of stuff like a lot of time because I wanted so hard to make my life with this. So an advice will be like, don't lose your hope, don't lose of sight your dreams. Always try to be better, always study, always try to learn something different that takes you toward your goal. So I know that sometimes the life will be hard, and it's really hard to make living of what you love. But I think that if you put everything, like everything in risk, well, as I said, when I made this new run of toys, I completely dropped my work, well, my 9 to 5 work, and I was like, I don't want to be this. I am not happy being here. I left, and with my credit card I bought the 3D printer. So it was a complete leap of faith. I didn't knew if that will work or if that will work. I just tried to trust in my kind of ability,
Mm.
and to see what happens. So don't be afraid of of the future. We are going to get there somewhere, so let's get there with something that we love to do. So
I
I
mean,
think
yeah,
that
that's those are wonderful words to live by. Definitely pursue your dreams and don't be afraid of like what's gonna come maybe. But we do have 2 questions in the comments. I just wanna highlight some other things that people did say. Um, Javar
oh,
Productions did say I think they left, but they did say, "I love the '94
thank you so
Godzilla
much.
you made." And,
Thank
Doomzilla,
you.
who's still in the chat, had said, "I will say this is a very impressive Godzilla source you created. Mad respect."
Thank you
And
so
that
much.
brings us to the first question of the night, which is from Kaiju Not or Crispy Vec, and he says, "What's your favorite scale for figures, either those made by yourself or otherwise?"
Um, I think that the monster arts or the NECA scales are so, I'm guessing, convenient, because they are not too big that will take a lot of space, and they are not too small like the Jax Pacific or that kind of scale, that if you want to make a prop or something like that, it will be like tiny. So I am guessing that well, this scale, like the normal scale, I don't even know, it's 16 inches, I guess. No, I think that this scale will be like the perfect for me, because I think that they fit in your hand perfectly. You can take them wherever you want. You can put it into your cinema seat to
Yeah.
watch the Godzilla movie. I think that they are so convenient. The moment that you grab the figure like this, it's a pretty good size of figure, because the these ones, like this, I think that they are too big. So I don't feel, well, this feels so amazing and I can hug it, but I cannot take it anywhere. So I like them if you have like a big space to put it, but I am guessing that the NECA scale will be perfect for me. Like, it's so manageable and beautiful.
Mhm. No, that definitely makes sense too. Like, one outside of the fact that they're not super articulated, I'm not a huge fan of like the X Plus figures because they're just so big. And it's like, where am I gonna put room for like something that's like bigger than a foot tall and stuff like that? The next question, a little bit more of a serious one, comes from Doomzilla, and he asks, "Have you been worried about the threat of copyright for a time?"
Yeah, totally. Can you hear me? Because I think that I pressed something here.
Oh no, we can still hear you. You're good.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Uh, I know that this is like not the correct way to approach the things we love, but I feel the urge to fill the gap or fill the hole that the big companies are left behind. Uh, for sure, of course, I am worried, but I think that until they get the cease and desist, for me, I will put it into a wall and I will leave the Godzilla uh, trademark alone.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I am worried, but that's actually why I want to make my own line of toys, like sooner or later. I hope
Hmm.
sooner.
Yeah, because I mean, like, in general, I know there was like the big thing about like a bunch of people like hype. Like, what happened was, is I'm not sure if you're aware of this. The apparently Toho had sent a cease and desist to a bunch of people, and what ended up being the case was that it was like completely fraudulent. It was someone in Chicago who had filed the litigation in Toho's name, and
Oh,
it got dismissed. And what happened was, is that Toho dismissed it, but they are able, I forget like the exact legal terms, but essentially if they felt like something was like they were being threatened in some way in their bottom dollar, they could reopen up the litigation under like different terms, because the original terms were like super ridiculous in terms of like how much they were asking for, or like the requests they were
mhm,
telling people to do instead of like getting sued and things like that. But at least like in your case, which you are providing, you're essentially working off commission in that sense. And you're not really banking off of the names of like the IP in that sense.
mhm,
So like you have less to worry about, but like obviously that is there. But while we wait for
mhm.
more questions from the audience, do you have any like personal ideas you might have for like what you want your toy line to be in the future?
Yeah, I actually want. Let me see. I don't think that they are here. I have them on my another room. I want to make designs for new kaijus,
Hmm.
but I want them to be like a little bit Mexican folklore uh driven,
Yeah, like
like
focusing on your culture and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, maybe Mexican, well, pre-Hispanic gods,
Hmm.
and maybe creatures like that will live in Mexico. And maybe I will grab well, my first phase will be like the Mexican culture, and after that I want to make cryptids from the
Oh,
United
nice.
States too. So the Mothman, I love the Mothman folklore. So maybe the Loch Ness going to Europe. So maybe some all around the world trying to make well, figures portraying the folklore of the of some places. So
Oh,
maybe
nice.
that's the line that I will probably take soon.
Hmm. Did you ever
Yeah.
consider like dinosaurs or anything like that? Like specifically like accurate or even like retro style dinosaur figures maybe in the future?
Yeah. I actually were working on the All Stars, but I couldn't finish it. But it will be so cool too. I love the Retrosaurus, so
Hmm.
I will maybe go that way soon too. Yeah, because I love there's an Instagram page called Unaccurate Dinosaurs that they put like drawings from encyclopedias from
Oh yeah,
the
yeah, I am I
40s or
follow
something.
that Instagram as well.
And I loved it. I loved all that kind of dinosaurs looking weird and that kind of stuff. So probably I will go that way too
Hmm.
anytime in the future. Yeah.
I mean, like definitely if you're talking about creatures with like an easy assembly, if you did like a classic T-Rex, you could make different models for the head, and there you've got like an Allosaurus, Ceratosaurus with
Yeah.
not having to worry too
Basically.
much. But then it's not like the Kamacris where you have to worry about antennae breaking
Yeah.
off. So
They don't have too much
yeah.
armor or that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Mm. Oh, and I don't think I think although you really like the Mutos, are they your favorite kaiju? And if they aren't, what is your favorite kaiju?
That's a hardcore question, man. Do not do that to me.
I have to.
Um,
We ask the hard hitting questions here at Zimzilla 99.
yeah. Okay. Fuck. Sorry for that.
Oh, don't worry.
Uh,
We can swear as much as we like.
Fuck yeah, because I speak like a buccaneer sometimes. Um, I don't know, man. Maybe yeah. I love the moto so much. The design of the sound design of them, they feel so real. So you can sense the scale of his little sound so weird. And the figures, I love the silhouette of the figures, well, of the motos. I love
Mhm,
the dynamic that they went, that the female will be like a bigger and more like simian type of of monster, and the male will be so aesthetic and beautiful in the way, because I love that the nature. Well, they got inspired a lot of nature. So I
mhm.
think that they are my favorites for so many reasons, and that I love so much Gareth Edwards, and I love his work since Monsters movie. So maybe I am a little bit biased out there, but the motos will be, I guess, not if my I can say a top three if that works for you.
Yeah, top 3 also works.
Maybe it will be the motos, like in general, like both male and female. I fucking love the story, yeah, but I love the design too, and how mean does he looks. Uh, and actually, I am a little bit biased too, because Godzilla versus Destroyer was one of the first movies that I saw. I remember that I saw 2000. After that,
Mhm.
I think that I saw Godzilla versus King Kong, and I guess that the next one that I saw was Destroyer, and I were like, "What?" When I saw Godzilla melting, it broke my heart so hard.
Mm.
So I love the first forms of Destroyer. Well, all of his forms. I love that he was a complete badass and a really gruesome guy. Um, Design wise, I love Monster X too.
Oh, that's
But
definitely a radical choice.
Yeah, because I grew up too with Power Rangers, so it feels so Power Rangers to me that
Mm,
it feels like so familiar, you know.
mhm.
Um, I think that could be my Megalon. It will be like another choice of, like, another really good choice for me.
Mhm.
Uh, I love the personality of Gigan too, but I have
I
issues
mean,
with
it's
him.
who doesn't love the personality of Gigan?
Yeah, but I have issues with him being a big chicken. So, but I love actually, when I was young, I played a lot of Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee,
Oh,
and
the best one.
my main was Gigan, and I remember I was so
Same.
young that I grabbed the forks, and I were like.
Oh no. Okay, at least I could say someone else did that because I remember it anytime I could find something metal in the house, I'd do the exact same thing and clang them together.
Yeah, and even when I go here in Mexico to grab bread, and I was like, it's like a really normal thing to me to do. So that's why I love Gigan too. But my main were Gigan and the story, yeah. And I
Okay,
love
fair enough.
the way that he grabbed with his
His
with
secondary mouth.
yeah. It was so beautiful. So I think
Mhm.
that those are my favorites. I am falling in love so hard with Shimo right now. I don't know why I feel her like I love her so much. Her design is so beautiful, so graceful,
It's
and
gonna be
uh,
interesting to see what she looks like fully realized because obviously we've only seen like very few snippets
yeah,
of her,
yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
of course like the toys. But
Yeah, no, but I am so excited to saw her like in her full glory. I can only imagine how she will walk, but I can completely see her like a queen, like
mhm.
I think that they will going to give her like so much personality, hopefully,
Yeah,
that
no, that's definitely a big hope.
I can see her like a royal, because I can only imagine that design wise, maybe that was like a plot point, like that told Jared to make, like, you have to put her a crown. So that's why I guess that she has the
Yeah, the
crystals
little
in
spines, like,
here.
above her head, yeah.
Yeah, so she looks royal. I am
Mhm.
guessing about that, but that's why I am falling in love so much right now with her.
I know Kaiju had another question. He said, "What are your thoughts on figures with gimmicks? Would you ever make figures with gimmicks yourself?"
That's an amazing question. I am actually I made one of my first figures that I've made. Well, as we discussed a couple minutes, was the Muto, the articulated Muto. But one second. Let me see if I can find the video, because I got the idea of giving the female Mewtwo a light on her belly,
Mm. Oh,
So
yeah, the, like, light for,
mm,
like, her stomach for the pregnancy, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I designed it. I designed it, the female Mewtwo, and I made like a tiny missile. So when you approach the missile to the belly, the belly will turn on.
Oh,
So I made that. I am trying to search for the video, because I made it. I don't know how they are called in English. They are in Spanish. They are called relevador magnético. But
um,
I found it. Can I? Oh yeah, I can send it here.
yeah, you can either send it or I think you can also share it too. Let me
Yeah.
see right
Oh
there.
yeah, I see the. Maybe if you want, I can share the screen, or you
I
can post
found
it.
a I found it right there, yeah. No, I got it right there for you guys. I could share my screen too just to keep the stability on your end so nothing happens to
Let's go.
you. Let's see. And it's right here. And there's also music here. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. Because the eyes are
Yes.
also lighting up. Plus that's cool. And I'm gonna leave that on there, the screen for everyone to see, because that's really impressive.
Yeah, you can see my my nail painted, because I grabbed the missile and I didn't have like the patience to put it somewhere. So I grabbed the the paint, and I were like painted just like here in my fingers.
Doom says to that, that's very nice.
Oh, thank
Schmo
you.
says that's genius.
So I usually want to
Allison's
put
nice.
this kind of gimmicks again, but actually, I have some stuff that I am working, that I am keeping like secrets so hard, but I am working on toys with gimmicks. So
Mhm.
you will see something sometime in the near future. But yeah, the way this worked, it was like it's like a tiny crystal with it's like a resistance,
Mhm.
but in the middle they have like two tiny uh plates of metal. So
Mhm.
you connected the simple circuit into the led, and when you approach a magnet, it closes the circuit, so it turns on the light. It's not that hard, it's just basic electronic. So it's just that device, that it's like two plates of metal. When you approach the magnet, I put the magnet into the nuclear bomb, and when you approach it, the circuit closes and the lights turns on. So yeah, I want to make more kind of that wicked shit on the future.
Would you think about probably doing that for like Godzilla spines, like finding something to get them all to light up like that nice blue color?
I don't want to spoil anything, but
Oh,
I
you
am
okay?
uh,
Oh,
I am I am I have plans not only for that. I want to make like no, I'm not going to spoil. I want to make
no
that.
spoilers. Soon, soon to come, amigos.
Yeah, because yeah, I definitely trying to work with that kind of stuff. Yeah, so be sure that we will have some weird shit on the future.
No, like that's respectable. For sure, for sure. That like obviously it not only are you just creating like these heavily like articulated toys, but obviously you're innovating and seeing what it is you can do in the future. So as they say from Star Wars, we will watch your career with wonderful anticipation.
Nice line. Thank you, thank you. No,
Oh,
but
you're
actually,
welcome.
the first Redosaurus that I sold, I put them on NFC, sorry,
Mhm.
NFC chip on them, so you can approach your cell phone to it, and the cell phone will read the chip and emit the the roar of the Redosaurus. So I
Oh,
guess,
nice.
yeah, I guess that I sold around the first batches. The first guys who bought from me the Redosaurus have that. Let me see if this guy
Yeah,
has it.
right here.
No, they don't have it. Oh yeah, there's it.
Actually, let me see if I can. There we go. That's impressive.
Yeah, so that, well, I made that putting like an NFC chip and programming them with the Drive link. So when you approach
Mhm.
it, it takes you to the Google Drive, and you press play, and it will make like the noise. But I made like a survey that, as I was asking if they were using them, and I guess that no one used it. It's like a fun gimmick. Like you buy it and it's like, oh, cool, they sound, but I don't see myself making that on daily basis. Like I'm going to hear that guy yell. So
Mhm.
I
Like you
I
just walk
decided
by
not
a
to
reads
make
and
it.
you just hear something screaming out of nowhere. You're like, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So I decided to not to make it again.
I mean, hey, what's it
Like,
called? At least you did the attempt for it, and it's like a fun little gimmick there for like people who ended up in those first few batches.
yeah. It was fun. It was actually pretty fun to try to think on how to put noise without getting into many troubles. So, but yeah, those well, I mean that's a must. I am usually thinking of what kind of weird shit I can do. So, uh, I'm guessing that in the near future we are going to have some weird stuff.
Hmm. But I think we'll probably end it here so we can at least keep it. Usually I go for like 3 4 hours, but at least I want it for people who want to
Damn.
listen to this again. They're not having to be like, I have to go through 3 4 hours of an interview. And of course, obviously, your time is very valuable, and you are a busy, busy man. So I do want to take up more time than I think is appropriate. So I want to say first off, thank you for coming on and doing the interview with us. And then I obviously also want to thank everyone for listening too. Besides obviously your Instagram and your YouTube, which are linked in the description, is there anywhere else people can find you? Either if they want to like help buy something from you or hire you for something, anything like that.
Well, actually, I think that the Instagram account will be like the most decent way to find me, because uh I don't usually check any other uh social network too much.
Hmm.
Actually, it will be easier for me to just be on one, so I can answer to all of you people who try to write me, well, who write me, because if I give another it will be
Uh,
like, where do I answer first? So yeah, I think that Instagram will be good.
mhm,
And I will be. I am thinking so hard. Actually, I already set up the. I want to make a Patreon, so I can have the Discord stuff, and well, if you subscribe, you will get free
mhm,
shipping and that kind of stuff. So I am trying to figure out how does that work. So maybe we will have like a Discord in the near future, so we can chat like
mhm.
normally, and like to have some
Exactly, yeah.
kind of, yeah, a more one back to back conversation with the whole crew that it's assembling right now, I guess.
Mhm. I know definitely, one thing I would recommend, obviously having a Discord of my own, having the ability to link all of your announcements up. So if you ever announce in the Discord, people can follow it in their own Discords,
Mhm.
and it allows you to advertise without having to be like posting across like 70 Discords and the like.
Mhm.
So that's just obviously something for the future when you are working on that, and that comes
Yeah.
to pass.
Yeah, well, I will have to explore that stuff like so hard because I am a boomer and I don't get so well with Discord. I don't understand it. So I will have to study it a little bit more before I get into trouble, because I will create channel and then it will go out of my hands. So maybe I will, first of all, I will start to analyze it and to try to get comfortable or familiar with it, and after that I will try to make the channel stuff and
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
because if I try
definitely.
it right now, I will fail miserably.
And I do know that for everyone in the community who does use Discords or set up ones, yeah, a lot of people can obviously help you with that, and helping set that
Oh
stuff
yeah.
up.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah, that
Duma
would be
was
cool.
getting off with a great stream today. I thank you for that, sir. And
Thank you,
again,
Dom.
like I said, for everyone, stay tuned. Follow Rixan Custom Toys on Instagram. Like you
Thank
said,
you.
that's the best way to contact him. Plus, that's where
Yeah.
all his updates come for his figures. Give the man a follow, buy his figures, and even if
Thank
he
you.
doesn't do kaiju stuff in the future and he starts to do his own kaiju stuff, support it. That is one thing I always say, is that the only way we see the community build, expand, and evolve is through the proliferation of indie contents. And gotta thank forerunners like Rick here for like paving the way in a sense. So
Mm.
thank you all. And this is Zimzilla and Rick Toys, and we will see you all next time. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much to all being here. Thank you, and it was a pleasure